Welcome into Titans by Two. Austin Nelson, Brett Batchelor. I think it was episode 5 now.
I think it's 5, yeah.
Oh my God, why they're still letting us do this for 5 episodes? I don't know why.
Must be doing something right.
I guess so. But we're back, Titans by Two. Titans got the win. So we're pretty happy people right now with a 1-1 record. Looks a lot better than 0-2. So that was exciting. What was your first thoughts about the Jags game?
First half was scary, honestly. I thought we were going to revert back to what we did in week 1. Offense still didn't look very good. It was low-scoring battle, which is kind of what I said it might be like when we talked about it before the game. But second half, we came out balling. We came out looking swagger. We knew what we were going to do. And it was more of kind of, I guess, what we expected week 1. And then especially, I guess, kind of what we expected week 2 playing Jacksonville. But the second half was so much better than the first half, and I really think that'll carry on into next week and throughout the rest of the season.
I agree. I'm going to hit some notes real quick from today from the Mike Mularkey press conference after practice. Aaron Wallace, linebacker, placed on IR. It's not all season long, though. Mularkey said they can take him off when he's healthy. So that's a good thing to have him back at just whatever time, maybe come playoff time down the road when it actually means something. So they signed in his place they had to make a spot. So they signed Zach Pascal from the practice squad, wide receiver. So with Corey Davis being injured right now, which we'll hit on here in a little bit, Zach could probably not see some playing time. So who knows? Brad Seaton, the guy the Titans drafted, the big 6'9" tackle from Villanova, is signed to the practice squad. So those are just some notes from today. So let's dive into the Jags game. What we saw, you kind of just hit on it. The first half was sloppy. Wasn't very fun to watch. And I was starting to get the notion like, all right, this team's not as good as we think they are, or just the chemistry's not there right now. If it's the play calling, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't fun to watch. It was kind of frustrating because we have all these weapons. Nothing was happening. I mean, I feel like they should have been scoring every drive with this offense. Marcus was 15 of 27 for 215 yards with a touchdown and a very sloppy interception.
Horrible interception
to Telvin Smith. I don't know after I watched the replay of it, I don't know if it was a miscommunication with Jonnu Smith was the receiver, I believe. So I don't know if Johnny was supposed to come inside and said he broke back in. So I don't know what the deal was there, but if Telvin wasn't picking that off, I think the safety, the guy
That's
covering.
Exactly what I was going to say. If Telvin didn't get it, the guy behind him was going to get it.
I mean, that was nowhere near Jonnu. So I think that was just a mess up on Marcus, which it turned out to be okay. Derrick Henry, 14 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown. And the reason he had that many carries was because DeMarco Murray was bad again.
Again.
The second straight week. So we'll hit on that here in a minute. The defense stepped up for sure. 3 turnovers, a forced fumble by Brian Arakpo, which was picked up by Eric Walden, and then 2 picks. And if I'm remembering right, they were both tipped picks, correct?
Yes.
So one was caught by Curtis Riley, who stepped for Jonathan Cyprien, and we talked about that last week. And the other one was –
I have it pulled up. Let me look right here. It was – let's see. We said Curtis Riley. We said Denor Searcy.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. So another safety stepping in for Cyprien. So
right.
That was pretty – that's a nice thing to see. It's good to have it to win the turnover battle. With Marcus, losing one, so you win the turnover battle there, which was it's a good thing to always get some turnovers on a quarterback like Blake Bortles.
And Marcus's turnover was right after we forced a turnover, so it sucked to give the ball right back to him.
Right. Some notes from after 2 weeks for the Titans. We'll go back to the Jags game here in a second. Titans are through 2 games are 6th total in offense. 6th in the run, 16th in the pass. And the defense is ranked 22nd in the league.
Like the exact same as last year.
Yeah, for sure. 17th in the run and 19th in the pass. So middle of the road. I mean, the offense is 6th in the nation, in the NFL. So I mean, that's nice to see. But there's still, 16th in the passing game, which is still nothing. It can be way higher than that. And Marcus Mariota is not known yet to be one of those elite passers with the 300.
Unless you're in the red zone.
Yeah, to be one of those 300-yard passing guys every single week. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen for him unless he becomes elite and becomes one of those Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Brady guys. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's still way too early to call. But it'd be nice to see some more 300-yard games where he's throwing like 3 or 4 touchdowns, a game. So no receiving touchdowns yet to a receiver.
No, it's not really what we expected. Johnny, like you said, he's a tight end who actually had made a really nice play to score his first touchdown. We've seen Delaney score a couple times. Yeah. Corey's been hurt. Decker's been a little sloppy so far. He played better in week 2, but we still got it's only week 2. We still got guys like Rashard Matthews. Taywan's going to score, who had an awesome diving catch down the sideline last week anyways. So I wouldn't necessarily freak out yet. It's not like he hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass yet, because he has. It's just not to a receiver.
Yeah, and I mean that's really, that doesn't even matter to me, honestly. I could care less who catches touchdowns as long as you score. What you kind of just hit on, though, we saw a unique play from the Titans on Sunday where Delaney scored a rushing touchdown. That was very cool. I liked the formation. It caught the defense off guard. They had no idea who was scoring. Then you saw the push from Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey got upset.
That was fun too. So there was no reason for Delaney. Delaney's not that guy to retaliate either.
Delaney, after the game, Delaney said he when he saw Jalen push him, he was like, you know what, I might get back up and do something. Then I looked up and I saw the scoreboard, saw we were blowing him out, so I didn't even worry about it.
Right, and I mean he's exactly right. There's no need to get mad at him. Just look up, and I think you could tell the Jags as a defense were just frustrated. You could see a lot of chatter back and forth, pointing fingers, that kind of thing.
Same thing happened last year when they came to town and the Titans blew them out in Nashville. So it's the exact same scenario.
Right. And you kind of hit again with Taywan Taylor. It's only through 2 weeks, but as of today, Taywan Taylor from the Next Gen Stats is the fastest man in the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
That's crazy.
Think about all the guys that we know in the NFL, from Tyreek Hill to even Deshaun Jackson. Just you can name a lot of guys. But Taywan Taylor, as a rookie, burnt A.J. Boye, a guy that all Titan fans wanted to have this offseason. There was the prized, the number one free agent guy that we all wanted, and he burned him. So that was super, very what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging to see. And
it was Taywan's only reception of the game too.
Yeah.
One reception for 42 yards.
Beautiful pass by Marcus.
It was awesome.
Beautiful pass. That was a nice, that was a nice catch and play that would set up, I believe.
It almost looked like, if you go back last year to the Cleveland game, when we threw it to Kendall across the middle of the field and Kendall made his great diving catch.
I remember that. Right.
It was different route, but similar play that both led to touchdowns.
Right. And I think that led to the Derrick Henry touchdown. Right after that, it might have been the Delaney touchdown, one of the two. It was in that side of the end zone. Let's hit on that. Let's kind of transform from the Jags game to what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, which was Derrick and DeMarco Murray. So we saw a lot of Derrick Henry on Sunday. The reason for that was DeMarco got banged up on a play, and I believe it is a hamstring injury.
Yes, it is.
I thought so. Him and Corey are dealing with the same thing. He's day-to-day as of today from what Malarkey said. But we talked about it. I talked about it. I've said this a lot personally. You feed the hot hand. I don't care if it was DeMarco, it was Derrick. Obviously on Sunday with DeMarco being out, and he's looked sluggish all year long. I tweeted this. Follow us on Twitter at Armchair Tighten Up. There's a play against the Raiders where DeMarco broke off, I think, for a 28-yard run. And instead of him full speed, knocking guys over, and
he's moving left to right.
He just moved left and right, and it looked like he was just trying to find a hole when he could find it, and there was no sense of urgency for him. So I'm not sure what he's dealing with.
It's got to be
something.
He's still he probably wasn't even 100% coming out of preseason or from training camp, because he was still banged up then. So, I mean, hopefully it's nothing serious, because when he's healthy, he's such an asset to the team, for the Titans, everything like that. So, I mean, you really hope it's nothing serious, but we seriously never – there's something that we don't know.
Right, and I hope. I mean, this is me talking out loud. There's no way that he feels like it's Derrick's turn now to be the starter. No. Because Marco still feels that way. I don't want anybody to think we're sitting here saying start Derrick Henry, because that's not what we're saying. I've always said feed the hot hand, and on Sunday it was Derrick Henry, and so I think the Titans would be lost, honestly, without Derrick, and that's the whole reason we've got the exotic smash mouth thing, because we want to have a tough physical football team, and running back start that. So if you had a Kalfani Muhammad in there.
Flu.
You're gonna lose. Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of games doing that. So to have Derrick in there, you're not losing a beat. And on any other team, Brett, Derrick Henry's starting.
Oh yeah,
let's be honest. He's the 2015 Heisman Trophy winner. He's going to start on other teams, and it just so happens he's on a team with us where he's the backup running back to DeMarco Murray, which he's learning plentiful from.
Oh, my gosh.
So just let me ask you this. From what you've seen through 2 games, are you starting just for a game until let DeMarco be the backup, let him be the other guy? Does it matter to you who starts the game, or do you see it more as, we have 2 really good running backs?
I think it matters more to the fans about who starts rather than to the players themselves. As long as they get the ball, then they probably – I mean, yes, they want to start. They might not care as much. But the fans, if Derrick were to start the game this week, and it's in Nashville, if Derrick were to start the game, the sense of urgency that would come from the stadium, seeing him run on the field first rather than DeMarco would just send – I feel like it would make the fans go – it would be such a different vibe in the stadium. Personally, I mean, Jim Wyatt tweeted out the injury report today. DeMarco didn't practice with the injury to his hamstring. So if you have to, maybe, I mean, if he is not 100% and the offense looks a lot better, do you sit DeMarco this week and be like, look, we need you for the rest of – because they're about to go on a 2-game away streak. So the next home game is not until October 16th. So maybe you sit him this week, said, look, we're going to need you for this next long haul, and just play play Derrick more, and then you still have Flu back there, then maybe that's what you do, just because we know that DeMarco is not 100%.
I like your point with the fans. We've known Titans fans to be very fair weather, from listening to the radios around here to seeing tweets. Even Titans Facebook is ridiculous.
Yep.
Titans fans will switch, they'll switch on you in a heartbeat, and they will do the same thing with DeMarco Murray, a guy they were all praising a season ago and we're so excited to see last season. If Derrick Henry continues to play the way he is and the Titans do decide to start him, they're going to say bye to DeMarco and let Derrick be the guy, which would be ridiculous. There's no reason to have DeMarco leave. What are you gaining here? You're going to lose DeMarco Murray. For
David Fluellen.
Who knows? Like, we could just throw some out here. What if the Colts signed DeMarco Murray? Oh,
and then he gets healthy.
And he's in your division now.
Exactly.
I'm throwing things out here now. Don't Titans fans love DeMarco Murray, love Derrick Henry. It's a good thing to have. You don't need to not like one or the other. Let one play better. If one's banged up, one's banged up. It's not a big deal. So that's our views on it. I'm glad we agree on this.
Yeah.
Again, follow us on Twitter at ArmchairTightenUp. Brett, you can plug your Twitter name if you want to.
Yeah, just at Brett Batchelor, BrettBatchelor.
And then I'm at Austin Nelson. Let's hit on this now too. Corey Davis, the number 5 pick overall, I believe only has 7 catches on the year. He only had 1 in Jacksonville. He had after a nice game at home against Oakland. So he's out on Sunday. That came out today with the hamstring injury he's still dealing with. It's still lingering. He came out for a few series against Jacksonville, but came back in. So people were having we're hesitant about, what's going on with him now. So Malarkey, this is from a quote from him today. We're trying to get him past this so we're not dealing with this in November. So obviously it's something they're keeping an eye on. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's good to sit him this week. I know we're playing a high-profile defense. Yeah, I mean, you got guys like Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman and everybody like that. But just exactly what Malarkey said, you don't want this to go to November, because in November we have the Bengals, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Ravens. And you look at teams like the Steelers and the Ravens, they have tough defenses, and we're going to need him then, especially with his speed. And in colder weather games, which he is used to from playing in Western Michigan, it'll be good for him there. And while he is out this week, I do think that opens the door right back up for Rashard Matthews, who can have great games, as we know, because last year he had 950 yards, which he could have gotten to 1,000, honestly. And did the same thing in Miami when he played Miami, if he didn't get hurt when he was down there. So while it's not good that he's out, because we know what he can do, but he only had 1 reception for 4 yards on 3 targets. So they're not even targeting him as much because they know that once he catches it, he's not going to be able to do as much because he's not 100%. So while it's not great that he's out, I think, as Malarkey said, this is probably better for the future of the season.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of reps and losing a lot of chemistry with Marcus too, with being out. But that's not the point. We're not here to see Corey Davis play this season. This is Corey Davis for the next 10 years with Marcus.
This is Corey Davis, our number 1 receiver, franchise receiver.
Yeah. So if he's banged up, cool. What we don't want to see though is Corey Davis be the guy that, damn, what could have been. We don't
like a Kevin White.
You do not want to see that happen.
No.
And it's not as serious as Kevin White, not yet at least. Kevin White's had some tough blows to him.
Yeah.
But just let him get healthy. It's a hamstring injury. He played on it for 2 games. It's still lingering. Like just let him
in camp.
Yeah, just let him heal. I mean, it may be a game. It's going to be this game, obviously. It may be the Dolphins or the Texans game. Excuse me. Next week. So if it happens, it happens. The Titans are deep enough still at the receiver position with Decker, with Rashard, with Laney, Taywan, with Jonnu. Then you're going to add, this is the time where we wish we had Trey McBride here.
Yep.
But that's in the past. We can't talk about that anymore.
Tajay and Harry are both hurt. So
Well, see, that's another thing too. So Harry's been, just a healthy scratch. So you'll see Harry play. I guarantee Harry plays on Sunday. And he's always been Mr. Reliable. Every time he's throwing the ball, he's catching it. So I don't have a problem with it. It sucks.
He's a hard-nosed guy too.
He is. And
because if Harry does play, I would not be surprised to see him and Richard just going back and forth down the field at all.
Absolutely. And this is the time too where I think we wish we had Tajay Sharp here. And to me, still to this day, just me being a fan, that was the most weird injury to see him have. I didn't know he was hurt that bad. To see all of a sudden you get an update saying Tajay Sharp on IR out for the season. What?
Yep. I knew he had surgery over the summer, but we all thought he was going to be okay, especially because he played the last preseason game against Kansas City. So
it was just so random to see. But shut him down. And we'll see you next season, I guess.
Yeah. But you were talking about receivers and tight ends we can go throw the ball to. I think this past week in Jacksonville really opened the door for the potential threat of Jonnu Smith because of the catch that he made that ended up being a touchdown, and he just looked so smooth running down the field, especially when he went to the end zone, and he ended up with 2 receptions for 30 yards and on 3 targets. So only on 3 targets, but you caught 2 of the balls. So it's better than 1 reception on 12 targets. So I think that now they'll be able to open up the offense maybe a little bit more and know that he has a potential threat down the field.
I agree. Which brings me to my next point about the Seahawks. Can you move the ball down the field on this team? I mean, this is the Seattle Seahawks we're talking about. When you think about the Seahawks, you think of what?
The Legion of Boom.
The defense. That's exactly what you think about. So let's hit on this for a minute. The Seattle secondary. You're talking about Earl Thomas, maybe the best safety in football. Talking about Cam Chancellor, one of the hardest hitting people in football. And you're talking about Richard Sherman, one of the best lockdown corners in the game. He's better running his mouth, but he's better at playing football.
Right.
So, what do you think that Marcus is sitting in the film room and the Titans are trying to prepare Marcus for on Sunday?
I think it's so hard to prepare for games like this because just when you're sitting in the stadium, you just get just a vibe from the other team when they step on the field, kind of like okay, we know this is going to be a tough game. Kind of like when Denver came to town last year and it was like 45, 50 degrees. It was gray and gloomy all day, and you knew it was going to be a tough, gritty football game. And the final score of that game was 10-7. So I'm not making any predictions here. I'm just saying that it could be one of those types of games. So Marcus we might have to pound the ball because they know the potential threat of Rashard Matthews, and they're really probably going to try and lock down on Delaney because Delaney is still our biggest threat. So I think Marcus is going to have to look at all aspects of, okay, this is what we need to do on short situations, on long situations. This is what they tend to run, and who do they tend to look at because on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, we're usually looking at Delaney and Walker.
Right.
So since the Seahawks are going to figure that out, we're going to have to figure out – the Titans are going to have to figure out what they want to do in situations when the Seahawks figure out what the Titans tend to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You just talked about pounding the rock. What happened last Sunday? The Seahawks beat the 49ers 12-9.
Well, 12-9. The 49ers too.
Right. So I don't know if that talks more about the 49ers or does that talk about the Seahawks just not being who we think they are?
The Seahawks had to score a touchdown late in the fourth to even win the game.
Right, and they haven't looked good at all this season.
They didn't look good against Green Bay either, with a terrible offensive line.
I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute, but I was getting at the Seahawks gave up 15 carries and 124 yards to Carlos Hyde.
Carlos
Hyde can do it. DeMarco and Derrick Henry are going to be able to do it. And this is what I'm getting. I don't think the Seahawks are who we think they are. There's still that defense. There's still the Pete Carroll, hard-nosed, gritty-ass defense, okay? They're just not what they used to be when they went to the Super Bowl anymore.
Because on offense, really all they have on offense now is it's just Russell running around because they don't have an offensive line.
Okay, that's my next point. Their offensive line is so bad, Brett. That's when we talk about the keys of the game. That's my key of the game. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me get on some stats real quick. The Seahawks right now are 28th in the league in points. 28th.
28th.
They're averaging 10.5-point game.
Yeah, that's because they scored 7 week 1, 12 in week 2.
That's awful. They're 26 in total offense. Okay. So the Titans defense, if they just do what the Titans defense normally does and just let these guys drive down the field, then there's a problem, okay? Because this team is not that great offensively. They're going to have a rookie running back in Chris Carson from Oklahoma State. Russell Wilson, we know what he does, okay? One of the more elite quarterbacks in the game. He's good at his arm, but he's better at his feet, okay? Right. So when they're mediocre receivers, they have a guy or two with Doug Baldwin. You can't leave alone Jimmy Graham. And then you got Tyler Lockett. And you have Paul Richardson. So those are notable names, okay? But they're not guys that scare you.
Right.
It's no Allen Robinson, so it's not the guys that the Titans
Marquise Lee. No.
Nothing like that. So when they're covered, when the Titans have are playing man-to-man defense or whatever, you got to watch out for Russell to use his feet. He's going to step in the pocket and he's going to move around, and that's when those things happen where he gets
to keep a spy on him.
He gets a first down when it's a 3rd and 7, or he runs for 30 yards on a 1st and 4. I mean, whatever happens, it's gonna. You gotta be always cautious of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And you look at the Titans so far this season. Total yards passing is 235, yards rushing 137. So 137 is not bad, and so they're just gonna have to figure out a way just to maneuver the ball down the field, because, like you said, the Seahawks might not be what they thought what everybody thought they were gonna be, but just their defense just always has the potential to make a big play, to turn the game around. So if the Titans can figure out a way to maneuver the ball down the field, then the Titans have a really good chance. And on the ESPN matchup predictor that you can go and look at, it's giving the Titans a 59% chance to win, which if this was a couple years ago, then the Seahawks would be so much higher. But it's going to be a good game, that's for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of the Seahawks offensive line, like we said, they're pretty bad, and it's just not us saying this. It's this is notably bad. People are talking about how bad they are to keep Russell Wilson on his feet. They've given up 16 quarterback hits, which is tied 5th in the league so far, and 6 sacks, which is tied 9th. So with the rushers the Titans have and the defensive line and the linebackers that we know rush the quarterback, which is Jarrell Casey, Brian Orakpo, Derek Morgan, Kevin Dodd if he plays, Eric Walden, Williamson. We can talk about the whole defense. The key to win the game, in my personal opinion, we can go ahead and start this, is getting pressure on Russell Wilson and stopping the run, okay? Because Chris Carson's they're gonna have to rely on him a lot on Sunday, and as well as Russell Wilson. Yep. So if you put pressure on him, if you make Russell Wilson feel uncomfortable for 48 minutes, you're gonna have a good chance of winning that ball game.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And you're talking about their offensive line and the potential rushes that we have. One of probably their better offensive linemen, Luke Jokel, has a knee injury and didn't even practice today. So if he's out, then that creates even more pressure that the potential have, because we saw Orakpo last week blow around Cam Robinson for a strip sack that we recovered as well. So and Cam's supposed to be really good. So if we can continue to put pressure, I completely agree with you. Then that'll help the Titans so much on Sunday.
You got a game prediction?
Man, I don't know. You go first this time. I've been going first.
I think the nation as a whole, and the Titans are favored by 3 points. Okay,
right.
If this is in Seattle, it's probably a little bit different. Maybe a point. Seattle's favored by a point or whatnot. But since it's at home, 3 points, in my opinion, is a lot. I was not expecting the Titans to be favored in this game, but I think they see how bad Seattle's offense is and see how well the Titans have been playing in the second half they had last week. So there's a reason they're favored, and I think a lot of people, after I've been reading today, a lot of people are taking the Titans, and the Titans have to be consistent, okay? This can't be the same team that we see year in, year out where
no coaching mistakes.
They lose one, they win one. They lose one, they win two, They lose one. It has to be consistent, and it has to start Sunday. So I think the Titans win. I don't know the score prediction. This could be one of those Packers games where we play a really, really, really good football team, and nobody expects what's going to happen, and they come out and put 21 points in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Who knows? I think the Titans win. I really do, just because how bad the Seahawks offense is. And if the Titans are going to, talk about what they want to be and start winning games and be the AFC South champions, it has to start right now.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have let the Raiders game slip away, and it starts right now. I know they haven't won at home yet. This is the perfect opportunity to win at home against a very, very good football club.
Yep, exactly. I completely agree. And if they want to establish a Seahawks-type mentality of you don't want to come to our place and play against the Tennessee Titans, then – the Titans don't have back-to-back home games until the last 2 games of the season. It's home. Goes home, away, home, and then 2 weeks away, and then just alternates throughout the rest of the year. So if they want to establish a place to play, as in scaring for the teams to come in, then it has to be now. And I think that if the Titans want to control this game, then they have to probably get on the board first. And if they don't, then they got to hold Seattle to at least a field goal. Because if Seattle goes down and puts up 7 quick, then you're already in a big hole. And then especially like we've talked about with the potential of their defense, that's the only scary thing for me is we've seen Marcus overthrow, make some bad throws in these couple games. And I don't know, it's a tough game. It's a tough one for me, honestly.
It really is.
It's a tough one. I'm not going to say they're going to lose, but if the Titans do win, I think it'll probably be a close one. But I think that if they want to win the football game, they have to take control of it early, because Russell Wilson can be a good game manager. So the Titans have to take control of this game and keep control of the game and keep pounding it.
I think two keys to winning. You kind of just hit on one. They have to score first and score often. I want to see the offense finally be consistent, have a few touchdown drives this week. Not see the defense play back to start the game, because I know they did against the Raiders, and the Jags scored first on Sunday too, if I'm not mistaken. So play fast, start fast, and just score as often as possible. Go ahead.
If we can play like we did against Green Bay, offensively and defensively, that was probably the best game that the Titans have played in years.
Yeah,
honestly. And to play against a team like that. So if they can I think a big thing this week that we've talked about before is coaching. Because the Green Bay game was coached really well. As in, maybe not the onside kick to start that game either, but in the Green Bay game, I keep going back to this as an example, just because it's kind of a team like Seattle that a lot of people know that it's good. So like in the Green Bay game, first play of the game, offensively for us, DeMarco broke it down the field, 75 yards, touchdown. We went up 7-0 and controlled it from there on. So, like we said, if the Titans can get on the board first, then they can control it the rest of the way. Then they might be able to hang on to it from there. And
just win the turnover battle.
Yep.
You can't have stupid mistakes like you did on Sunday with Marcus throwing a pick. You got to hold on to the football. So we both agree on that. The Titans win. We don't know how. If they find a way to get it done.
Don't know a score.
It's going to be a gritty win. And another thing, too, it's on national television. It's a 3:05 kickoff game. So the whole nation is going to see the Titans play at home. Against one of the top teams in football. So it's going to be a statement win if they can get it done.
Draws in a West Coast crowd and everything.
Exactly. So give me one hot take. Give me your hottest take. What happens on Sunday? Give me a player, a certain amount of yards, a certain amount of touchdowns. What happens? I'll give you mine. Adoree Jackson scores a punt return. Boom.
Yeah,
That's mine.
that wasn't going to be my hot take, but a key to the game would be the field position that Adoree can put the Titans in, because we saw he had another 40-yard punt return against the Jags that almost took it down the field.
He should have broke it, man. He just kind of he ran out of room. But
my hot take is against a good defense like this, the Titans don't turn over the ball.
Okay, that's a good
Not one time.
Very good hot take.
It's simple, and teams. I mean, I know teams don't turn it over every week, but against a defense like this and with the D-backs that they have, I'm gonna say the Titans don't turn over the ball.
Okay. So the 1-1 Titans, the 1-1 Seahawks face off on Sunday from Nissan Stadium, 3:05 Central Time kickoff on Fox. It should be a fun one. I know we're excited. Give us a follow on Twitter at Armchair Tighten Up. Check out the website, armchairallamericans.com. For Titans by 2, that's Brett Batchelor. I'm Austin Nelson. Tighten up.
Tighten up.